Hey YouTube, I have a Maxx Fan in my camper and it died. It was outside the 2-year warranty, so Maxx Fan said I could buy a new circuit board. Here's the old one, doesn't work. The reason I know that it died is every time I turned on the on-off, it would do the constant beeping for about 10 seconds and then shut itself off. The fan sometimes would run at a low speed, the first speed setting, or other times the fan would just lurch and stop and I would get the beeping. So contacted Maxx Fan, they said replace this, but they would not give me a free replacement because it's outside the 2-year warranty. So this is the circuit board. There's 3 screws. There's 1, 2, 3. You take those out. This pin connector here goes on right here. So you just unplug that. And then this plug goes to the actual fan motor on the Maxx Fan, which is still in my camper. And then these wires go, these are your power supply from your camper battery or whatever power source you're using. Before I knew that it was the circuit board, I thought maybe it was a voltage regulation thing. So I found this DROK DC to DC converter. So you can take anywhere from 9 to 36 volts in. So you can have very variable voltage coming in, but then it only outputs 12 volts and 5 amps max. So this circuit board has known issues and it only likes the 12 volt range. I think my lithium battery was running above 13 volts in periods of charging. All right, so these are WAGO connectors. They're pretty easy to use. There's no soldering or crimping. You just lift these orange tabs and the wire comes out. Okay, so now I'm basically gonna cut the wires off of and use these wires to put in a new switch, which is one of these. So this has a rheostat. It has, I don't know if you can see, oh, it's on the back side here. All right, so this is the switch I'm replacing for this whole circuit board. So the power in, we're gonna use, I'm gonna cut the wires here because this is your power coming in from the battery. So then I'll do, black is positive and white is your negative or neutral. So you have on the top power negative, so we'll put our white wire there, and then power positive, black wire there. And all you do is you unscrew these screws and put the wire in through the front. All right, so we're gonna cut the power supply wires. And on the circuit board, they're actually labeled. So you got positive, black. See what it says here. I'll bet you it says negative on this side. Just move this glue out of the way. And can't tell. I think the negative's right under there. But either way, cut these off. So this is off of the power supply side. So then I'll get my wire strippers, strip these. So I'm gonna put these in. It's like I need a little Phillips or a little flathead screwdriver. Okay, so power minus, power positive. So we know this top one here is the negative. I'm gonna loosen this. And then this middle one here is the positive. So all that does is open up these terminals so you can fit the wire in. So now from this, we know the white is negative, it goes in the top here. Gotta loosen it a little more. Screws coming all the way up. Alright, goes in. There's a little sticking out, so I can just clip that excess because I didn't measure. So I'll clip about the same amount off the end here. Try that again. Power minus up top. Now it fits flush. Screw down this terminal screw. It's tight. Pull on it, it stays in. Now this black wires are positive power coming in from the battery. And we're gonna put that in over here on the next one over because it says power positive there. Gotta cut that one a tad because I didn't measure again. Try it again. Alright, this time goes all the way in. We'll screw this one down. That's tight, that's tight. And then just make sure no wires are crossing in between there. Alright, so I went ahead and just adjusted the lengths. That way there's no bare wire sticking out. That way there's no chance of any short at those connections. Alright, next we're going to take the wires that go to the actual fan motor. So this would be your energy or your power going out of the old circuit board. So we're going to clip these. Black will be positive, white will be negative or neutral. So this is garbage now. We're going to strip these just like before, except this time I know the length. And about that much stripped. Alright, so now these are going to go in the positive, negative out power. This is nice because it actually says motor, positive, negative. So we'll put the black positive wire on the inside screw here. Gonna loosen these up. I'll loosen them to just about flush on the top there. There. Alright, so we said black wires on the inside for your positive, going to the motor. Put that in. Screw it down. Tight. Give it a test pull, it doesn't come out. Same thing for the white wire. So this is your negative out, power out, going to the fan motor. Tight, test pull. Alright, they're all set. So now you've got power coming in to the potentiometer, your power going out to the fan. So once we hook this all back up, this should change your fan speed, and this will change either fan going forward or exhausting, so in or out, and then center would be off. And this potentiometer has an off click switch to cut voltage too. So really the only thing useful in this would be your number 2 position or your number 1 position. Alright, so next we gotta see, this is where I'm gonna put the new switch, potentiometer with the switch. So if you flip this over, you can see there's a rectangle for a switch and a hole here for the potentiometer. See how that goes. Just push in here. It's just glued on, and then this all rips off. So this is garbage now too. Alright, so we're gonna put this switch right through here, and on the circuit board it has this disconnect here. I just pull up, comes off. Just remember the. So now I'm gonna feed this through the hole. So it can all sit here. Might have to shave it a little bit. We just made a little extra space because the width of this switch wasn't fitting all the way. Alright, so that sits in there like that. And then I can glue it on this side to hold it secure. So then we'll plug this back in. Red wire facing up towards the out. Alright, I'm gonna try a 5/16 drill bit. Alright, I just decided to use that 5/16 drill bit and just make a hole next to the large hole that's already there. So just waiting for this glue to dry. I thought of one thing. Before you install all of this for final, you could put a piece of tape here to cover up all these holes, and then this would look a lot cleaner. So I think I might go ahead and try that. Alright, so I have this like yellow cloth tape. It's pretty useful. It's like a canvas tape, so it'll be pretty durable, and then we can cut it. Alright, let's see if this works.
Alright, so I'm just gonna carefully cut all this out. There we go.
I'll just cut out an X here for the switch.
And then the hole is here for the rheostat. I'll just use my drill.
So we'll put the wires through again, switch. Just a little more force this time, and it fits very nicely this time. And then we'll re-super glue from the other side. We'll bring the rheostat. So make sure the washer's back on this side so it can spin and has some weight displacement. Move the tape out of the way, re-thread this. It's like the tape's in the way, so I have to clean that up a tad.
Just this little gunk here is getting in the way, so I'll just clean it up.
Alright, so this is all connected. Put this back on for your rheostat. Clicks on and off. I'm going to put a drop of super glue on there just to hold it on a tad. So I'll put it inside here. Just a drop. That way I can break it free later if I need to. And then this will go onto here. So that works. All right, so next, everything's together. All we have to do next is hook this back up to the power supply in the camper. And on the camper, I already have these WAGO connectors. I think that's a WAGO. And we know on this, red is positive and black is negative. So in the camper, we know that the black wire is red, and the black wire in the camper will go to this red wire, and this black wire, because it's negative here, will go to the white wire in the camper from the battery. And you can check that using a voltmeter if you need to. All right, let me try to center this. Okay, so this is the Maxxfan with the housing off. This wire, don't worry about this. This actually goes to a solar panel on the roof that I installed. But this is the power supply coming from the battery. So you got black, positive, white, neutral with the WAGO connectors. And then this plug goes up to your actual fan motor. We've got the 12-volt regulator. This red wire is positive. We're going to connect to the black battery. So you just put it in here. Wire's already stripped. Clamp that down. Give it a pull. It's in. This black off the voltage regulator is actually a negative. So it's going to go to the negative of the battery, which is a white wire in the happier camper. That's all secure. Already I have a red blinking light on my circuit board because I didn't cut the battery off. Probably should have, because if those wires touch when they're live, you could short the fuse. But so at least we know we have power. Now this plug goes to the fan motor, so we'll plug that in. Black to black, white to white on this, and then we'll see if it works. Main battery's on. So I can turn the rheostat. Let me do that again so you can see it. Turn it on. Red light glows and it's constant. So through my tape you'll see a red light. And then if I go to position 2, it reverses the fan speed. So now it's in. So for me, the switch on position 2 blows air in. Position 1 will exhaust air. And then you see the fan speed changes too. And then off, that light goes out, so it won't drain any power off your battery when it's clicked off. Hope this helps. I'll leave links in the description. All right, this just took me a minute, but everything shoves up in here. That black voltage regulator slides up and wedges to the right, and then the circuit board, as installed, has enough clearance here. I just put these 2 screws in here to hold the housing. The one thing you want to do is when you put this up, make sure there's no wires sticking out that could rub against this blade. So I had to tuck the wires back in. But now that I have them tucked back in there, it's the trickiest part. Looks like I forgot to put all this back up in here. So I got to take it back down, put that up. And the last step would be putting the screen back on. Okay, so when we put this plate back up, this white spacer has to go up here. And then after you get the white plate on, then this and the screw will get attached. So, let me see if I can go out here. You have all of these guts. I take this first. It wedges up where they cut this finishing plate, so it just sticks there. You could use some 3M tape. All right, so it's sticking the double-sided tape. I'm gonna peel this for 15 seconds while the tape adheres. There's enough clearance for this vertical circuit board to fit up into here. No issue there. You don't want wires extending outside of this white housing, not the clear part of the fan, but the white housing, because then they could rub up against the fan as it moves. Then we want to stick the white tube up here. So we push this up. make sure everything's clear, and then we'll get some screws in here to hold it.
Give a few turns to hold that corner. Go to the opposite side. Drop one. Turns. Secure. Secure.
And the last step is the this screw goes up in here. And then you screw that secure. Test this to make sure it opens. It does. Closes and locks. Love it. All right. And then face all these sideways. Stick this back on. Oh, these actually have to face out. Uh-oh. So that switch is interfering with the protector here. All right, so this is what I was talking about. This switch sits right under this, so you can't push it up all the way. So I think I'm gonna mark this with a pencil and just notch it out. For your fix, what you could do is just move your switch farther up over here for your install. If you have a better way to cut out a rectangle. It was just easier for me to use that opening that was already there. Okay, so I made 2 scratch mark notches right where my pinky is. And I'm gonna cut away that material, and I'm just gonna cut away this outer section. That way the inner ring is still intact and can keep bugs out. Okay, so I just notched this out with the Dremel that I was using before. So we've got this inner chamber, or this inner ring that's still intact. And it closes itself here to here. And then I notched all this out to make room for that switch. So we'll see if I took enough away. Let's go check it out. All right, so there's enough room. Just gonna secure all these, put the screen back up. They're all locked. So now there's the switch. It works. So you could have it on. You can also cut the power just by putting that to the 0 mark, but it doesn't cut the power from the rheostat. So you could, if you forgot about that, it would slowly drain your battery. So this is your actual on-off. When you hear that click, that'll cut power. This is the fix. This is what it looks like. My fan's on the back of the camper. I hope that helps. Have a great day. So I was talking about turning the power off before working with the wiring. This third one down, this 15 amp fuse will disconnect wire from your fan. Unfortunately, mine is not labeled. I just did it through trial and error. So pulling this bottom one out with some needle nose pliers or a fuse puller will disconnect your battery.